Hey there folks. So in this video we're going to look at something inside of our PCG called get actor data, and I've used it here to get these blueprints of these buildings, and I've used it to remove the actual kind of PCG information from wherever they exist. So you can see as I'm stood here in this little bit of a forest, there are no trees, there are no rocks. I've still allowed the ground cover for now, but there's no trees or rocks that are coming through and colliding into these buildings. So how is that being done? Well, if I look here, you can see I've got all these blueprints of these buildings, and if I were to move these around, what's actually happening is the PCG is getting the information for these actors, for these building blueprints that I've got here, and using that as a difference to remove any of the other elements. So let's go into it. Let's have a look at how we actually get the information from these actors, and then we can extend that by looking at how we can remove them from our PCG. Okay, so this is the PCG graph before we get the actor data, and you can see here I've got all these trees that are growing through. I can place these buildings into the actual scene, but all of these trees, they're not taking care of any of the other elements. They're just being spawned by the PCG graph and growing straight through. Even if I were to move elements around like this building, they have no influence on that. So here I am inside of the PCG graph itself, and you can see I've already got a bunch of things that have kind of been built in other videos. So we've got a pathway for our ground cover here. So this is all the kind of flowers and plants. We've got some larger bushes that appear. We've got the actual trees that are coming out. So you can see this one here, if I look over, this is all the trees. And then this one here is all the individual rocks. So using everything that we've done so far in terms of density filters, transform points, normal to density, I've put this forest together. Now let's go to a blank space up here and let's look at how we can get a reference to those buildings. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a get actor, and this get actor, we can get actor properties, or we can use this spatial value here to get actor data. And if I click and add this on, it's going to first ask me where I want to get this data from. So you can see it says there self, and that's because we can actually put these PCG graphs as components inside of other things, like inside of a blueprint. So if it's left at self, what you would be looking at is you'd be looking at the thing that contains this PCG actor. Now in our instance, we've placed it, if we go and have a look here, we've placed it here into the world. So self isn't actually referring to anything that we can get a reference to in here. But I can use this here to look at a whole bunch of different options. So we have the parent of this in its hierarchy, we have the root, but the one that you're going to use the most is actually this all world actors, and it kind of works like a get all actors of class in that we can add this in and then we can choose what we are looking for. Now, by default, the actor selection filter that we're going to use here is this by tag. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to use this in a moment to add some kind of tag to our actors that we want to say, like, I want to use these as exclusion actors. I want to use these as things that get removed. But we could obviously use this to find any actors in our world that have a very specific tag and then get their data and their information here into our PCG graph. The other ones we have available to us are also class, and this is useful because you can obviously search through for any individual class. If there's something very specific you want to go and have a look for, you can find it from here, and you might actually find us using this in the future where maybe if we put our PCG volume inside of a blueprint, we might have to come in here and say, because it doesn't exist in the level, maybe it can't get access to things like the landscape. So we can actually go in here and get access to landscape data or get us a reference to that landscape by using the get actor of class. Now there's a couple more tick boxes in here. I want to just go through those before we start messing around with these. The first one is the must overlap self. Now that must overlap self, obviously if we've got all of these blueprints and we're searching through for the whole level, that must overlap self is basically saying it must be, in order for it to get its data, it must be overlapping and inside of, in some way, this PCG volume here. So it's a really useful way of using the PCG volume itself as a kind of filter to control exactly where these things are going to happen. We also have select multiple. Now you've just seen that in my little scene here, I've got multiple buildings. Now if I didn't actually have that select multiple, it would only be able to get the actor data from one of these. So if I'm going to have lots and lots of buildings, lots of things that are being removed, maybe lots of pathways and things like that, I'm going to need this select multiple to be ticked so that it can effectively collect all of them. Okay, so let's go into here now and let's start thinking about how we can actually get this actor tag. Now, I've already got inside of here, I've already got this BP PCG exclusion actor that I've created. And I could obviously come into here and I could say, let's search by class and let's search for BP PCG and find my BP PCG exclusion. There you go. So I could go and find that and I could go and obviously use that data now to get those points. But what about if I wanted to use tag? What if I wasn't inheriting from this every single time? What if it wasn't always just this thing? What if I wanted to use PCG exclusion as a tag that I could put onto anything? So buildings, fences, paths, decorations and things that are inside the world, maybe just random things like statues. Well, at that point, I want to have that tag as a kind of generic rule that I'm going to set up. So here, I'm going to actually come in here and set up a new blueprint class. I'm going to make it an actor. And this is just going to be a demo test thing for us to use. And I'll call this one PCG buildings. I'll just show you how I've put this thing together. If I open this up, obviously it's just an empty actor with nothing going on inside of it. And I'm just going to add in myself a static mesh right now. So it comes in, it's empty. So let's go and apply some kind of building. And the building I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use the inside of the Synty polygon Goblin War Camp. There is a whole bunch of different buildings I can use in here. And I like some of these as a bit of a demonstration for working inside of this forest, imagining all these goblins living in here. But let's go with, let's just go with this little tent for now. So I've selected that and I'll add that in. Okay, perfect. Now, if I take this and I go and add it into my scene. So let's go and find that blueprint again. So my PCG and PCG buildings. If I go and add that into my scene, we can see that it's not actually being removed. There's still a tree growing all the way through. And that's because we now need to add this tag to that. Now, I've already added the tag here onto this one. So let's just go and have a look at what the tag is that I've assigned. And to find the tags, what you need to do, you need to select the root of the hierarchy over here and go and search in your details panel just for tag, and it'll find it under the actor tag section. And you can see I've given this a name of PCG exclude. Now, this is something I would maybe kind of copy, paste, put it into a notepad file or a working technical document to say this is the code, this is the tag that I want to use for removing anything from my scene, which means that if you keep on using it in other blueprints now and in other actors, it will always work exactly the same way. So I'm going to take that tag and I'm going to come over to this building and I'm going to search for tag. You'll see this one has no tags on it. So let's add a new tag into the array and change it from none to be PCG exclude. Okay, so I'm going to compile that and save it. And now let's go back into our PCG combination, this little forest, and this could be any PCG that you've got as a demonstration. And in this get actor data, I'm going to make sure that it's actor selection by tag, because obviously that's what I'm using right now. And I'm just going to type in that PCG exclude tag for me right now. I've got it ticked to select multiple, so it will be able to select all of them. I don't really need to worry about the must overlap self right now because I've only got this very small volume, but obviously turn that on if you want to filter out by where the volume is. And again, it's not going to do anything yet because I've not told it to. But let's drag off of here and make ourselves a named reroute declaration node. Now you could obviously come along here. You could start editing these points. You could create some point data from this. So in a future video, we'll look at how to create a point grid around objects, maybe to have scattered objects. You could do that. You could have it so that we take these buildings and then we randomly spawn the kind of objects you would have appearing around buildings, like, fences and the everyday object that, blacksmiths and people and villagers might have, or the goblins in this instance. But here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get that data so I can use it to remove from something else. I'll press F2 just to rename this, and we'll call this one the PCG exclusion actors. And I've saved it into there. So that's now been put into there, and we can go into the rest of this graph and start using that. Now I've already got here this top pathway. This is the bush pathway. So here I can now go in and search for PCG exclusion actors to get a reference to that named reroute, and I can plug that into my difference. The difference here is working with the binary. You can see it's already removing the bushes wherever there is a rock, but now it's removing also wherever there is a building. Let's put another one of those ones in. What's this path down here? Well, this one here is our trees. That's going to be a really obvious one for us to see it happening. PCG exclusion actors. Let's take this, and you can see these difference nodes. They have loads and loads of capability by having lots of inputs added to them. Here, You can see I go along this one, and this is the actual rocks. Do I want to remove it where the rocks are? Yeah, let's add that in. So I'm just going to add in a difference node. It's a binary one, and I'll add in the PCG exclusion actors. I've not done it on this ground cover point, but we can have a look at that in a moment if you do want to. It just depends on whether you want to spawn something different where these are. But straight away now you can see that it's just updated because all of the trees have disappeared and all the rocks have disappeared from overlapping where these buildings were. Not just the one that I'm working on, but these ones over here, because they also have the exact same tag. If I take this little building that we've got, rotate it and place it in the scene, you can see the PCG updates based on the position of that. Now, a couple more things we can do with this is, this works, it works perfectly fine as is, but we might find that different buildings with different collisions on them might end up actually being a little bit unusual in how they work. So let's just go and find this building just for a moment. So I'm going to go find the static mesh, and I'm going to open up this building and just have a look at the actual collision that's being set up on here. So you can go to show, and you've got show simple collision, and you can see how it's got this collision volume all the way around the outside. Now it could be that with something like this where it's got a simple collision, or even with the complex collision where it's using the verts of the mesh to an extent, you can see how it's not actually got anything in the middle of this. So it might be that it still has points that collide with this into, like, something that's a very small point could easily fit inside of there. So it's not going to be the case of this whole thing is just going to collide all the time. It might be absolutely perfect, but with really complicated things like where this is sticking up, the simple collision of this mesh actually fits around the base of this, whereas this one over here might not, because it allows you to get inside. And you can see we might end up with actual meshes spawning in there. So one of the things I do like to do with this, just to make it a little bit easier to work with, is if you go into this PCG buildings blueprint that I've created, we can also add in some kind of collision. Now it's up to you what collision you add in here. You could add in a box, a capsule, a sphere. It depends on what works well for you. And obviously the other thing you could do is you can use inheritance. So you could just have this as the base building, and then on each child version of this, you could add in your own collisions. But I'm just going to add in, let's go with a capsule collision just for now, and I'm just going to resize it so that it fits. I'm going to have to go quite large on this one. And this, if I just drag this up, this is me defining how big this is going to be. And it can be quite useful now to actually say this building is a little bit bigger than the mesh itself, which can be useful for not having trees grow too close, because you don't want, you might avoid the tree the tree trunk growing too close, but then the branches might end up overlapping and growing in. So now by updating that, you can see that that collision has just made this much wider. So when it's getting that actor data and finding the actual position for that point, now it's much, much bigger because of that collision that we've placed on. And just to demonstrate that, I can go into here and I can take that capsule collision and I could just make it even larger. And as I make it even larger, you can see it pushes everything back all the way around. So you can kind of use these collision elements here. You have to go in and obviously change the collision options so that they don't collide with the player and they're not causing other interactions. But you can see how they're a really quick and easy way to kind of control how big something's going to be if we just want to use it for colliding and cutting things out. Okay, so that is how we get actor data. That's how we find something else in our scene and use it within our PCG. You can see we've got an actor data or get actor data node. We've got something based by its tag, and we've defined a PCG exclude tag, which we can keep on reusing. And this here is going to be a process that you're going to see us using when it comes to things like meshes and with splines. We're going to constantly be getting a reference to external actors and external elements. Really useful to use the name reroute node, because what you don't want to have to do is connect this here to every single one of those difference nodes. So save it into the name reroute, and then you can use that as a value anytime you want to say, I want to exclude these locations from the spawning of all the other things. And now you can put in as many of these as you want. In all these instances here, what I've done is I've just gone through and changed the mesh. But maybe you want to use it where you have a different inheritance chain for every single one of these buildings, and you can define, this is the guardhouse, this are individual little buildings, this is the leader's hut. Maybe they've got different reasons for being a separate blueprint, and if not, obviously just use the changing of the mesh and the changing of the actual collision capsule itself to define where this size is going to be. Okay, so have some fun with that and see what interesting other elements you can add in now to start controlling and removing things from your PCG area. Thanks for watching, folks. If you enjoyed this video, then please consider subscribing to access more of my Unreal Engine content.